What's up, Team Happy and Fit? Thanks for tuning in. If you caught our Q&A yesterday, I talked about how we all pay $15.95, right? That's what we all pay as a coach. And it's so interesting to me because people who start businesses, and it's interesting being in Silicon Valley, all of the overhead that it takes to start a business, people go $500,000 in debt or $1 million. Like you have so much debt starting off, creating a business or loans because you're partnering with people to get your dream going. And I think it's quite interesting that our $15.95 is more than a business. It's self-care. It gets us in the best shape of our life with a discount. Isn't that pretty awesome? But I was thinking more about this along the lines of, some people look at the $15.95 as a credit card charge, and other people look at it as $1 million investment. And that's exactly how I've looked at my business fee every single month. I haven't looked at it just as a discount on this. And for me, it's gotten me in the best shape of my life in every way possible. It's connected me to incredible people, but then it's also allowed me to dream a lot bigger than I had before, with going to college, getting a degree, teaching, and just being able to see limitless possibilities with this business. And so I have people that quit. I have people that don't see it the same way that I do. And I just have to keep sharing my vision with it. I just think that what we have at our fingertips, it's ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous that it's $15.95 on the same, I guess, flip side, where I really want you to do something with this. I don't want you just to be here for a discount. I don't want you just to lose weight. I don't want you just to get in the best shape physically and just even mentally. I also want you to get in the best shape financially. I want you to create a team that you have vision for. Does that sound good to some of you? Does that sound like something? We all have it. We all pay the same fee. All of us. We all start the same way. I still pay $15.95 a month. And I looked at it as, man, I'm treating this like a business. So that's going into my next thing. My brother is sharing a Zoom every single month. And I've shared this a lot, he's just a freaking guru. He knows what he's talking about. I'm going to mute some other lines. And he just knows what he's talking about to help you. So if we're going to treat this more than a $15.95 charge, right? More than a discount, what you have access to are more tools in your tool belt. Now, what he's going to talk about tonight may not be something you implement tomorrow. Some of you are going to be like, what the heck? That's not what this is for. I talk about it in the sense of personal development versus professional development. If you want to grow in business, you want to be surrounded by other like-minded people who can teach you how to make it better. So as you approach this Zoom, take notes, apply something, but then also have a vision of where you're going to go, because we can't just wing this whole business thing if you're going to treat it like a business. Does that make sense? So my vision with all of you, TJ's vision with all of you, is to help you turn this more into a business minded mindset and take you somewhere further than where you are right now. And so a lot of information coming at you, sometimes we get paralyzed because we don't know where to start. Just start and just know that you have access to more. You have access to this recording. You have access to us. And just know that we have your back, because we really want you to do something more with this than just lose weight, if that makes sense, and just get a discount. I really want to see you excel. So giving it to my brother, he's going to talk about email tonight. And so what that's going to look like, he's going to present some things, and then afterwards Q&A. So TJ, take it away. Thanks for spending, it's freaking 9 o'clock there. So thanks for hanging in over here. I really appreciate it.
No, I'm glad to be back. The first month, I really enjoyed it. Julianne, before you go on mute and stuff, I kind of want to ask, so you guys were talking about the Backstreet Boys and stuff. When you went to that, was that with the same group? The same crew, each concert, right?
What do you mean the same crew?
Wasn't it some of the same friends that you grew up with? I thought that was really, really neat.
Oh yeah, Lisa Gestrine and I, her and I have been to every concert together except for one, I think.
Wow, yeah. That's really, really cool. So, yeah, I remember all that stuff. That's neat. All right, guys. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about email. As Julianne mentioned, it's not for everybody kind of type thing. Each one of these are not meant to be overwhelming. They're really meant to be, let's just start the discussion. You know, if it's something that you kind of are interested in, we're here to kind of answer these questions and kind of help get going. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can share my screen and not mess this all up. All right, step 1, step 2. Let's get rid of that guy. Step 3. Sorry, guys. All right. Pretty basic stuff. Again, Julianne mentioned that this is, you know, something that we're doing once a month. There you are. And we're going to kind of rotate through website, email. Next month will be social media. And then the 4th one will be analytics. And then we'll repeat that cycle, getting a little bit more in depth each way that we go through. So a little bit of a background to what we're going to do today. I'm going to give you an introduction and overview for those that weren't here last month. We're going to talk a little bit about choosing an email provider in a dedicated address and what that means. We're going to knock on a little bit of collecting subscribers and kind of what that's all about. We're going to reiterate being genuine, being you. And we're going to give a little bit of advice on some content. Of course, the question and answers are why we're here, but you know, we can just kind of start going through it one by one. All right. A little bit about me. If you weren't here last month, I've been doing advertising for about 20 years. I went to school in Illinois. I live down now here in West Palm in Florida. I do consulting with an ad agency down here. So again, it can range from any one of these. We can always talk about it later. It's always fun. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into the fun stuff. All right, so choosing an email provider and dedicated email address. All right, so first things first, it's more professional, right? So this gives you credibility and builds your trust with your future and current customers. As we talked about last month about the benefits of having a personal website, having your own domain name gives you that professional email address to use. So for example, I use Jon Snow. I don't know how many Game of Thrones fans are out there, but huge fan. So the difference between Jon Snow at thewall.com versus Jon Snow 12345 at gmail.com, you can see the difference right there. So, you know, if you're interested in getting your own website and not really sure what to do with it, even just having it as a landing page of another way to get a hold of you allows you to have your custom email address to reach out to your customers for. So take that one step further. It could be, you know, news at thewall.com or, you know, something that might generate, you know, if it's a newsletter or something like that. So using an email provider, you can be more organized. You can be able to track more than just open rates. So for instance, the example I use here is maybe you have a killer offer and you want to share it with your subscribers, but you don't really want to overwhelm them. So I would suggest you send that same email again 48 hours after that first communication to the subscribers who did not open your email. So this way you continue your campaign without over-serving your audience. It saves those ones. If they didn't open it the first time, no harm, no foul, because you know, chances are they might open it the second time. So you want to save those ones that did open it the first time and not hit them again. The value in schedules. You can plan ahead and drip market your content. So let's say you get a new subscriber and you want to not only welcome them to your team, but you want to further demonstrate the value in what they're subscribing to. So for instance, I recommend setting up an automated email that confirms their subscription. Now, the value of this, it would allow the subscriber to have the valuable and helpful information and how to contact you or take next steps. So it could be just a simple, hey, here's my social media stuff. You know, here's helpful tips on my social, you know, on my Facebook group. You know, any of these kind of helpful tips, it's just a nice welcome, you know, welcome to the group kind of type thing. Using an email provider, this will allow you to schedule those out. And to take it one step further, you know, maybe 7 days later, or maybe even after a few weeks, you have another automated email that drives them to a survey. Hey, how are things going? Did you try your, you know, whatever it is that you purchased or whatever it is that you tried, these kind of type things. So setting up those schedules are really, really helpful, you know, in kind of working with an email provider. All right, so the next one is collecting subscribers. So again, the next time we come around to the email side of it, I don't have the calendar in front of me. It's about 5 months out from now. is, we're going to really dig into how to collect subscribers and to really grow your audience. But for today, we're just going to kind of speak at a high level of, why maybe even begin to build subscribers. For instance, this is an area of growth. You might be working your social media channels. You might be trying to grow your followers on Instagram. You're trying to engage with people on Facebook, maybe Twitter, so on and so on as you begin to build your audience, your network. Well, email is a great opportunity. Just think of the friends that you have on your Facebook, your Facebook profile. Mine have a lot of family friends that are, much older age. Maybe sharing with them and saying, hey, this is a way that you can communicate. So MailChimp, for instance, is free. You can have up to 2,000 subscribers and send up to 12,000 emails per month. So that's really, really helpful. Kind of looking at it and saying, hey, this doesn't really cost much to begin to build your audience, to begin to build this and kind of see if it's worth taking those next steps. Again, this is kind of an intro into this, and there's plenty of services out there that kind of offer these free previews where you can kind of drip market content and kind of see what your audience is really going to look like. A little bit into the demographics. I'm not going to lie, I kind of mentioned on this, the younger generation might not prefer email, when texting and social media will suffice. But again, think of those connections that you have on your social media. Maybe that they would prefer a once a week email or so on over their busy social media feeds. So a pro tip that I have there is don't be afraid to email a daily inspirational message. When we're saying that the people that are going to read your emails and go through with it, I once was consulting with the John Maxwell team. And, they have thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers that subscribe to his message. They emailed every day. It really blew my mind. Every day. Like there was not one that was missed, and it was every day. And it was just an inspirational message saying, hey, I'm your friend. I'm here for you. And it really, really began to work. They had an open rate of, it was like probably about 20%. So it was really, really nice. So those are kind of type things to think about that, the demographics that are, reading your email, some of it's very similar to what you find on social media. Offer value. So when you're building your subscribers, offer value and do not expect participation. It's mostly just saying, setting the bar low and overachieving. If you look at it where you're not really expecting anything back, you're just merely offering a channel to communicate, it's going to work much better for you. It's not like social media where you get those instant likes and shares and all this stuff. Email's a little bit different in how it goes. But when you're offering the value can be tips, recipes, stories. It's an open door to your team, your community. It can be social media content. You can regularly schedule it. Again, it can be those daily messages that you can kind of schedule out for the next month, and so on. A pro tip for offering value, maybe it's a weekly recap of your best performing social media post, for the week. So you have a group, maybe they don't follow you on Instagram. Maybe they don't really know what you're up to on Facebook. That's not really their thing, but it just offers that, hey, this is what our community did this week. Here's a success story, maybe a testimonial, those kind of type things. So there's always value out there. That's not just, hey, buy this, purchase this, take these next steps. All right. Oops. Sorry, guys. Be genuine, be you. I can't stress that enough either. Emails, what kind of emails to send, right? Emails can be daily, weekly, monthly, or whenever you decide. They can be informative or inspirational. They can even offer sales and discounts. So here I put together like a list of, these are kind of the top most common emails that you're going to find out there. Your obvious is your newsletters. I mean, that's the GOAT. That's the one that, again, those weekly, those dailies, just more information. Standalones, think about that as a one-time offer. Maybe it's a campaign. Maybe it's just, something that's just obvious what it is, a standalone. Lead nurturing, that can be kind of similar to what I was saying about those scheduling, of emails. if you feel comfortable with follow-ups of, okay, 48 hours, I want to follow up with them, or maybe it's a week later, I want to follow up with them and ask them to fill out a survey of how their journey is going, so that, provide feedback, or, things like that. Those are all lead nurturing type email campaigns. Transactional would be, a confirmation, hey, you bought your plane ticket, or whatever it may be. Milestones. Our group just, got to, 10,000 followers. It's really exciting. Or you just achieved your, whatever. It's, think of milestones very, very similar to what you guys are used to with the Shakeology program. Okay. Subject lines matter. So when you're talking about content, you're talking about being you. When you use an email provider such as MailChimp, there are certain keywords in the subject line that are immediately determined spam. Free, for example. So anytime you say, like, even if it's like a free recipe, a free guide, you could be the most, positive intent with it and say, hey, this is free. I just want you to have this gift. That really kind of gets flagged, and for good reason, because people abuse it. So when you send too many spam emails, your domain name will suffer. So you want to be able to test different subject lines on smaller groups to get a feel for what works. If you had a list of 500 people, and you had an open rate of, let's say 20%, so you're going to say, okay, 100 people are going to open this. Maybe you test it to, 20, 30, or 40 to kind of see, maybe 3 or 4 people open it, which ones they open more. Start small and kind of work a little bit bigger, but they do matter. Creative testing, very similar to the subject line testing. Try using different colors or to include testimonials in your content. The layouts of your email can make a big difference. So at the beginning of this presentation, we kind of talked a little bit about picking an email provider. Those MailChimps, all those kind of, I'm trying to think of the other ones, and MailChimp's the only one I'm thinking about right now, guys. But, they have great templates that are in there that are real easy to use. And they offer value to where you can just switch that template. So even if you put all your content in there and you wanted to say, I want to duplicate this and maybe switch the template a little bit different, test those out and kind of see, again, how the click rates do, how the, how that works with that. Okay. So here's a little bit of content. Again, I say it right there, right in the slide. We can't stress this enough. Offer content that will connect with your audience. Okay. So it can be videos, pictures, link to your social media posts, tips, testimonials, and so on. Again, avoid trying to make, the sell in your email. Drive them to click, drive them to take action, which is, I think, the next slide, if I think about it. Yeah. Call to action. You want to drive them to take the next steps. So if you have that daily inspirational email and you say, maybe it's a weekly inspirational or monthly inspirational, or let's just use this for example, it's a daily inspirational email. You're thinking, okay, what value am I offering to them? Okay, there's an inspirational email in there, but maybe at the bottom of it, it's a call to action to say, hey, have you learned more about this? Or, here's the latest book that I've read, or, here's a link to somebody else that I truly believe in that's helping there. It's whatever it is, you can just get them to take a next action and engage with it. You want them to click, you want them to be able to do something, but you want to give your audience the opportunity to take a next step, right? That's what email is all about. All right. So, to kind of wrap up what the content, think landing pages, right? So where your audience will go once they click on your email. For instance, this Clean Week thing, Julianne and I have been talking a little bit about this. If you are pushing to purchase your Clean Week program, there's plenty of value and content from those landing pages to help build your email. So for instance, I think you guys get, Julianne, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you get your own special link, it has your own special, your name up in the corner. This is what you share on social media. This is what you share with your friends and family, and kind of how you begin to grow your business. Well, right here in the email, you would use that link. And when you look at that landing page, especially I think it's that Clean Week one, there's an about section. There's all these tips. There's images on there. You know, there's all sorts of content that you can really help build your email that offers that value, but also makes that value relate to the audience. So having the two be friends is really, really helpful. Whew, okay, deep breath. Okay, I try to really, here, Julianne, I'll turn that back to you. I really try to keep it top level and keep it kind of like an introductory to this. I really don't want to overwhelm everybody with really all the in and outs, especially if something with email that's a little bit different. But hopefully that generated some questions here.
Yeah, it did. I can go ahead and put them out. I think the biggest thing too is like, I just think about if you make a social media post and a call to action is to drop their email, you collecting emails is the greatest thing that you can do, because it takes about 7 to 12 times for someone to join you. Like, they need to see your stuff or be invited or see some kind of value 7 to 12 times. And typically we bank so much on our social media posts, and maybe like 10% of people are actually seeing it, probably not even 10% of people. But you collecting these emails is building your business in a way you didn't even realize. Because if you can just send out, I was just even thinking, like, think of the emails that you get, and you probably don't realize how often you get them from. My rock climbing gym sends one at least once a week. Brendan Burchard sends one daily. Darren Hardy sends one daily. Like, are you starting to really start to think about, like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a lot of value in my email actually. And then, yeah, there's other ones too, like Bath and Body Works, but they're not always selling you something. Like, they're just providing content for you. And I think a lot of times in our emails, what we've been doing is sending invites through our emails nonstop. Like, who is guilty of this? Of like, all your follow-ups and emails are about what, like, oh, hey, I have a challenge coming up. Oh, hey, like, the next 3 people get this. Where what we're saying is, what if you had it value driven, content driven, motivational driven? And so what we do is we attach link, or, you know, where it's like, click here for the recipe. We're taking them somewhere else in either our website, social media, whatever. Like my brother was saying, with a high performing post. So that was a huge gut check for me, because no wonder people were like, get me off your list. Like, every time you're emailing me, you're asking me for something, and what are you even providing? But I just think about, okay, if I have all these emails, why wouldn't I want to just give, and then build that relationship through that? So sweet. Love that. I specifically loved, TJ, the newsletter, standalone, lead nurturing, transactional, and milestones. I don't add enough testimonials in my email. Like, when you were talking about that, I was like, I don't add enough testimonials anywhere. So that was a big gut check for me of, we're seeing a bunch of us share our testimonials, especially on Tuesdays. You guys collect those, put those in emails, put that in your content. Like, you're seeing before and afters anywhere on our team. Like, show other people that it's not just you getting results. Show other people that other people are getting results that you're doing this with. So that was amazing. So a question that we have is, and we answered this a little bit, is what types of things do you suggest typing in the subject line? I remember when the new year started, you and I came up with, or you came up with, new you, better you, was your subject line. What kind of, Maddie gave some, some ideas of the best holiday drinks as the subject line.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you had to, you know, if you're working on your email and somebody was walking by you and they said, hey, what are you working on? What is the first thing that you would say to them? You know, like, what would it be that you describe what it is? And that short, quick, oh, it's a new year email, you know, it's a new you kind of type thing. You know, that's always kind of a good way to start, you know, thinking about how to really, really in short, kind of describe what email it's going. But what I'm getting at is just describe what it is. You know, you don't want to be cheeky. You don't want to kind of try to lead them around. I think when we did the Happy New You, it was just Happy New You. It was like, instead of the whole New Year, New You type thing, it was just Happy New You. Like, it really goes with it. So You know, I think just testing it is the best way to do it, but really just describe what is on the other side of it is the best way to start.
I'm even thinking like go through your email and see what Darren Hardy's sending you, Brendan Burchard's sending you, John Maxwell sending you, and check out their subject lines. Like see the kind of subject lines from Bath and Body Works, whatever you guys have subscriptions to, and see which ones you're deleting. You know, ones you don't even open, and just kind of see what that is. I love the Shine text. If you guys don't get Shine Daily, I think that's what it's called. Shine. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but they text you something motivational every single day. But I can already see they send like one sentence, and then you have to open it to go to their landing page. It's brilliant. It's kind of like email, right? They're sending that all from email. But I even look at that subject line or like that one sentence that they have that I like. So depending on what that says, I'll open their link, if that makes sense. So just kind of see what's coming in, what's coming out. Are you able to gauge who opens them by using Google Streak? Yes, to the freaking yes. You can see there's a little eyeball and you can see who's seen it. It's amazing. So then that's how I know to follow up with either in 48 hours or 24 hours. If they've seen it, I follow up in 24 hours. So if they haven't responded back, and I guess I answered that for you. Sorry.
No, you're doing great. We're talking about it. That's great.
Yeah. Other question is, you can, oh wait, sorry. Maybe, hold on. Maybe I lost it.
Well, speaking of your subject line ones, John Maxwell, they just did a John Maxwell quote. You just pull all of his books and just randomly pick ones that relate to it.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
I mean, picking quotes from your favorite people is always good.
Yep. Chantel, we have so girl, this is what you need to do. Do the coach training. It's called the coach mentorship. Just do that first and foremost. I know you're in it. Take a deep breath. We have everything laid out. Like there is no secrets to this thing. I have a full file of like so many emails I've sent people, like so many. So we have everything for you. But my biggest suggestion for you, since you're new, do the coach mentorship. Take a deep breath. Do that first. Set a goal. Do one lesson a day. Get caught up on the weekends. Finish it in a month. And then you're going to be like, I feel a lot more confident in the direction that I'm going with this. I don't feel like I'm guessing, and I don't feel like I have my head cut off like a chicken, okay? So that's going to be my advice to you.
Cool.
Rachel Hollis always has, yep, check out what you're subscribed to, see what that is. Julianne, what subject line do you use when you reach out to a new customer lead? This is another thing, Morgan, thanks for bringing this up. Y'all, when you get a customer from Beachbody or a coach, you get their email. I have every single one of your emails in my database. So if I wanted to, I can send an email to the entire team, daily, weekly, monthly, whenever the freak I want, right? I don't, because I communicate a lot through social media, but say I was like, you know what, I'm going to let the team know every freaking Monday night, hey, we have a team call tomorrow through email. Like that is something that I have access to. So what I do though, is that I take those emails and I put them specifically sometimes through my streak or, you know, through whatever. So if you get a lead, I think leads, a text is best for the first time reaching out to them. I've had better success rate reaching out to a lead through sending them a text. If they have an Apple product, I'm creepy and send them a voice message with a picture. I'm like, hey, I'm real. I just want you to know this. I have a boxer, Wyatt, and my husband, Eric, and I'm not this creep. I'm your coach. And sorry, I have like weird burp stuff happening. Pregnancy, y'all, hashtag. And so then I let them know I would love to get you connected to the community that I have. But what I like to do is I like to take my challengers, my customers, and I collect all of their emails out of my Beachbody database and put it in my own, and then I send them a weekly email. You guys, I don't overcomplicate this email. I share a positive quote, I share a recipe, and I share something, a lesson that I learned this week, or a struggle that I had this week, or a picture of me getting my workout done, like me sharing my journey, a Shako recipe, go to the Beachbody blog, do something. Don't overcomplicate connecting with people weekly, okay? And then for coaching, for new coaches, I might collect some of their emails and walk them through something, right? So you guys have access to a lot of emails. If you've been in this for a while, what you could do is go get those emails and talk to your old customers. The best way to increase revenue by 30% is going to people that have already joined you in the past. Maybe they've gotten off track, but if you've been here for 4 years, you have a database full of emails. Send them a freaking email and say, hey, like, what's up? I'm starting another round of a 20-minute program. I'd love to do this with you. I hope you're doing well. Like, whatever email you want to do, but you guys have access already to so many.
Awesome. All right. Next month, you're going to be here.
Oh, yes. You guys, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in West Palm. And I was like, what are you talking about? We are flying out to Florida to go on the Beachbody cruise, but on the 19th we are talking about social media. Like this is, you need to get on this, right? And I'm telling my brother that he's not allowed to pick me up from the airport because there's going to be traffic, and I don't want him to be late to this call. I will probably be, words are really hard right now. I will probably be in the car leaving the airport with my mother and on the way to my brother's house. So next month is social media. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what's been working. A lot of you have been asking about my like page. A lot of you have been asking just in general what I've been doing. But T, you freaking rock, man. Email has been eye-opening to me. Eye-opening in the sense of I never thought to send an email daily, because every time I was sending out an email, I was looking for something in return. So that was a really good gut check that I had is, oh my gosh, be likable. Like when I share social media, it's kind of like social media, you guys, that when you get frustrated on your social media, are you expecting something in return? Social media is fun when you don't expect anything in return and you're just sharing your story. So let's make email that way. Are there any last questions that you have for email? We do canned responses through Gmail. We're not talking so much that kind of thing, but we are talking like where you like collect an email and send something out. We're talking about after you've collected their email and they're just sitting there. Like, what do you do once someone has ghosted you because they've given you their email, like they were interested, is how can you connect with them through email after collecting that email? Does that make sense? How many of you have heck of a load of emails that are just sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, this is good. I need to get on that train like ASAP, right? For sure. And then you can share like, how many of you are in your last week of Transform 20? Are you guys about to cry? Like, are you so stoked? You can just even talk about that. Like, man, these 6 weeks, I just needed to shape up, right? And just like share what did my brother say? Share your story. Erica, love your freaking dog. Look at right now. This is a family friendly Zoom. I love it. Any other questions, my friends? T, thanks for hopping on. Everybody else stay on. You're amazing. I love you. See you next month.
Adios.
Yay, you guys. I'm so grateful that all of you are here and you're wanting to invest more. Basically, there's so many wonderful ways to run this business, and I want you to do it in a way that's efficient, right? Like, I don't want you to only bank on social media. I want you to do stuff in a click of a button. I want you to minimize time, maximize success. Doesn't that sound so freaking good? Okay, before we get off, is there any questions that you have for me in general about life, about coaching? Are you guys feeling stuck? First of all, I'm noticing Danielle Wood, you like came out of nowhere, and I am just like, my eyes are on you, girl, like they are. I talked to Morgan Brill about you, and I was like, I've got to Ashley Courtney, like there's a couple of you on here where I'm like, they're just like freaking crushing it. So this is what I do, you guys. When I see someone crushing it, women's tendencies are to compare, cower, do all these things of like, I'm not good enough. Instead, what I do is invite them into my circle and be like, how you doing it, girl? Like what are you doing? So Danielle, I don't know if you're able to unmute right now, and you're probably going to kill me. Like, well, you probably wouldn't. But do you not want to? Or you can share in the comments of like, what are you doing? Like, you are, do you see this vision for some reason? I just feel like you have this, like, you're seeing something with coaching right now because you are going with the team route. Can you share, and first of all, adorable baby, can you share with us what you're doing?
So I just started, sorry. And I'm going to break everything. Sorry. There we go. I'm going to do 2 things at once. Can you take him? I just started doing the education modules here. I can take it. And then just went through my Facebook and literally wrote every single person down, female-wise. I haven't gotten the courage to get the men part. But, and just put my gut in check. And
did you just message those people?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say? How many of you are like, okay, when I'm like, I don't know who to message, how many of you are going through your Facebook friends and writing down every female name? Not me. So that's a gut check right now of like, you know, you guys all know what I'm talking about when you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm going to make another Facebook post and hope someone new likes it, right? Are we shaking our head on this one? Because here I am saying I do the same thing. Turner's face planning with her hand right now. Okay, so what did you say to them?
First, I went through when I did my initial message and my initial post coming out, I said, hey, I really appreciate the love. Thanks so much. And I got a lot of messages back saying like, you got this. And I think that was my biggest thing, like, holy cow, like people are actually excited for me to do this. And that kind of made me excited to, you know, like really share my message and share Beachbody with everyone else. And it took me a couple weeks to really like get over the fact of like just message people. But I think when I was getting the messages back from people I totally didn't expect, I was like, well, if I don't send it to that random person that I had no idea, they wouldn't be responding and, you know, interested now.
Danielle, do you go by Danny or Danielle?
Either one.
Okay, I remember Morgan calling you Danny. Here's the deal. There are people on this call that it's taken years to do that. You just said a couple weeks to get over it. I'm serious. Like right now, there are people on this call that are like, I can't even do that right now. And so you're telling us that it's not that bad and you haven't died.
Correct.
And you guys, you have 4 PS coaches now?
Yeah.
In the last like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
She's halfway to diamond, you guys. Like she's just going, and she's telling us it was hard to get over a couple weeks of the fear. It's taken some of us here a couple months and a couple years. Am I right? So you just did it. Here's the thing. So I helped a new coach, and I said, so you made a list of people, and that's freaking awesome. Where you guys, what if you message people and you're like, hey, I wanted to send you a message, right? And I want more accountability on my journey, but I also would love for, like, I actually posted this in the Coach Club. If you guys go look for a new coach to do, like, that's a perfect mentoring thing to share. That's exactly what she just did. Is like, hey, I'm reaching out to you. This is what I'm doing. And it's keeping me more accountable, but it'd be cool for you to do it with me. If not, no pressure. But I just need to share my goal out there so I don't quit, right? What if you guys messaged people and you were like, hey, I've noticed we're Facebook friends and I don't know if you've been seeing my journey. Like, I would love for you to do this with me. They're either going to ghost you, say no, or they're going to say, what are you doing? And they're not going to hurt you. Like, they might unfriend you, but you can survive that. How many of you have been unfriended? Oh, yeah, Me too. I'm gonna be like, I don't even know how to see if people blocked me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where you guys are gonna survive this thing. Like, you guys are gonna handle. Danielle, I'm so proud of you, like, straight up. I can't even believe you just said it took me 2 weeks to, like, get over myself, where I'm like, girl, it takes people, like, years to get over themselves, but here you are, like, crushing it and getting it done. And what do you see with Beachbody? Do you see a vision with it? Do you see this doing something more than it being a hobby or getting you in the best shape? Like, do you see this doing something for you financially?
Yeah, I honestly, I think the thing is, so I signed up I did Beachbody for 2 years on and off, just on demand. And I over and over said no to Shakeology because, sorry, little guys, thinker. But I kept saying no to Shakeology because it was expensive. And, the many multiple reasons of excuses that I could come up with. And then I just had him 3 months ago. And I finally was like, I need to do this. Like, I did 80 days for 60 days. And honestly, I think that's part of the reason why I got pregnant with him, because we had 2 miscarriages before that. And I put myself wholly into it. And so then I got through the pregnancy and I was like, I need to do this for me. And signed up as a discount coach. And then for like a week, I thought about it and I couldn't get it off my mind. And I was like, if I feel this great, why can't I tell other people about it? And maybe that's the nurse in me of wanting to help others. But I finally just was like, I need to do this. And if I'm going to do it, I better do it now. And like right now, sorry, I'm long-winded, but I work 3 12-hour shifts a week. Plus I have a PRN or an as needed pickup job too. And I, for 3 weeks, was literally so anxious about going back to work, knowing I would have to try and find 4 days to be away from my son and my family. And I don't want to do that. I want to be able to, I still want to be a nurse at the end of the day, wherever Beachbody does take me. But I want to be able to know I only have to plan my 3 days a week. I can come home, I can spend time with him, and I can put time towards me. Wow. And if I can help others in that, that's only an added benefit.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. I think that if there's any notes that I'm taking about this for all of you to take is, what is your why? Like, what is your vision in this? And your vision doesn't have to be to leave your job. I would never say that. But if your vision, and it's even more than like making $1,000 a week. Like, it has to be more than that number. It has to be like, I'll feel less pressure. What will it feel like to make $1,000 a week? Like, what would that actually do for my family? Because how are you going to bed at night? Like, you can't just say $1,000 a week. Like, you have to really connect it with an emotion of like, what will that do for us? Like, what kind of time will I be able to spend with the people that I love? Or like, I always envisioned like going for elite, what it was like to get that call. And I just pictured it every time I wanted to quit and throw in the towel. I just would picture like, what will it feel like to get that call? And it would just be my driver. And this quitting my job, I just remember thinking, first of all, it was so scary, but it was like, I feel so anxious and feel so stressed. And I don't even want to think about it. Eric's parents were here yesterday and today. Well, they came on Saturday. And we spent all day with them yesterday. In the morning, I worked my business. And I did 2 calls last night, and then we went out to dinner. So in between, in the later morning and early afternoon, I spent time with his mom, had some coaching calls, and then we went out to dinner. Didn't even bring my phone to dinner. I don't even think I touched my phone the rest of the night. I legitimately showed up for my business this morning. And we went on this full adventure of breakfast, and we went driving in the mountains. We live like right by the hills, like all this stuff. Didn't even bring my phone. Like, there's so much that I don't share because I just was present. And I was just thinking about like all the sacrifice that took. And his parents, like, I think, 5 years ago, I was this crazy girl doing this crazy thing on social media, sharing her life, like for this silly thing. Like I would work out in their garage, like drink this shake, you know, get on calls, wake up his whole family pretty much at like 5 a.m., you know, to do these calls. And I remember many times his sister like leaving to like go somewhere else. She was sleeping on the couch or something. And then it turned into like, I remember going to a Christmas party in SoCal with this family, and I had just quit my job. Literally, then like we flew to California the day, my last day of my job. And then we flew to California because we weren't living there at the time. And then we went to a party that next night. Julianne, how's teaching? I was like, oh, I quit. And they're like, so what are you going to do now? Like, when are you going back to teaching? Like, what are you going to, like, they were just like, what? And then this has been our I've been doing this now full time, like for like over 3 years. Like it's kind of crazy, but to see them asking about all of you, like saying happy and fit, like they're saying those words. His mom might actually get Beachbody on Demand, you guys. Maybe. Like she was really talking about it because you saw Shaun T on the Today Show, and we were talking a lot about it. I was like, do you remember the DVDs? Like, do you remember we did? She's like, yes. Like, you guys, I'm serious. Like, she hasn't tried Shaco yet, but like she will. She asks about it every time we see her. But like, they see us now. Like they see what we, and I was even saying like, I just knew I could do it. Like I just told them that. And they were like, we remember, like we just, you know, we thought you were crazy. And they didn't say that, but you know, you could read people a little bit. But we were talking about this yesterday of like, people are going to think what you're doing and your vision is crazy when they aren't dreaming big. We were talking about this on the Q&A yesterday where it's like, I'm going to tell you guys your dreams are too small. I'm going to tell you that you're holding back in life. I'm going to tell you that you're leaning into limitations. I need to be that guiding voice for you and say, there's more for you, sister. There's more for you, brother. Like there's more out there. There's more for you to experience, that you don't have to do this status quo thing. Like you can legitimately do something unconventional. Like you can legitimately build a dream life. You can do something based on being yourself and sharing your story. Like you have impact. You care about people. People want to join you. I guarantee the reason people are joining Danielle is because she massively cares about people. Didn't you hear that? I realized that what this was doing for me, that this could do something for someone else. Did you hear her say that? So her success is, one, she got over her dang self. She got over her dang self and she made a list, and she just went straight to Facebook. And then she said, someone else can need this. And she's leaning in. And then there's something more deeper to it. She doesn't want to be away from her baby. Don't mess with a mama. Don't mess with some mamas. Like if the mama has that feeling, get out the way. And that kind of drive, Danielle, is going to take you very far in this, because that's how hungry I was. I was very hungry to get over myself, to build whatever I wanted. And I have to be that voice for you guys, because there are going to be people. You want to know something? I made a post today about how family members told me not to move to California, specifically my uncle. I remember going to dinner and him just talking on and on and on about it. Guess who liked my freaking post today? My uncle. And it just made me so happy. Like I was just like, I did it. I didn't lean into his limitations that he was projecting on me. He was trying to tell me how silly that was, how he would never do that it's too expensive. I just remember sitting there and being like, well, this is a fun freaking conversation. Like, this is a blast. Like, here we are about to go, right? We've been here for 3 years now. It's developed our character in a whole lot of ways. It's really taught us a lot of grit living out here. We really love it. It's really hard sometimes, but we just did it. We worked through a lot of homesickness. We worked through a lot of challenges. Eric left his job, right? Like all this stuff happened. We had a miscarriage here. We got pregnant here. We got Wyatt here. Like just so many things have happened because we decided to move here. But if I would have listened to him, you're right. It is really expensive. What are we doing? We should stay here and save some money. Like we should do this, and this. But instead, it's just like, there's something in my soul that knows we can do it. And that's exactly how I felt with Beachbody. I know there's something. When Danielle said, I signed up for the discount. Did you hear this? I take a lot of notes, girl. I hear you. I hear what you said. You said it for 1 week. I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let it go because I felt so good that maybe this was the reason I got pregnant and had my baby, right? Was that I got in better shape. I took care of myself. I was doing this. Like, that is powerful because you came from loss. I came from loss too. I came from loss and I'm pregnant right now. And I just feel you on that. And it's to help me work through that. But what I'm hearing you say is that you have drive, you have hunger, that you say, I want to care for people. I want to help them. But it's helping people isn't enough, you guys. I want to help people is not enough in this. You don't have enough skin in the game to say I want to help people. There has to be a bigger drive to it, right? Some of you don't want to build your team because you're afraid of being a bad mentor. You don't want to be pushy, right? Well, how in the heck are challengers joining you? What's the freaking difference, right? If people are joining you as challengers, why can't they join you as coaches? Because this is the kind of stuff we talk about. Dream bigger, do better. You can do more. That life can be you can feel better in life. You don't have to settle for that, because people are going to breathe their insecurities onto you, their fears onto you. You're posting too much on Facebook. You're sharing too much on Facebook. Hey, you know what? Get over yourself. Either delete me or like let me be. I'm going to do my thing. We play too much into other people's fears and their opinions. For me, you got something to say, I'm going to post about it. So then people stop saying stuff. That's straight up. That person who was getting up all over me, like, you're not going to be able to breastfeed because you're working out. I don't want you to lose. Girl, believe me when I say I'm not losing weight. I'm not losing weight right now. I can tell you that. I stepped on the scale. I haven't seen a number like that in a while. 5 years, right? She said I wasn't trying to be negative, and I said, yeah, but I wasn't trying to ask for your opinions, is what I said back to her. Haven't heard from her since. Get up off me. I made a post about it, handled it. Let's go. Because I'm talking to a lot of people who find my journey inspiring. I'm not looking for people who find my journey intimidating. I'm not looking for people who find my journey, oh, you're sharing a little too much, Julianne, like you're a little bit out there, right? Well, you're not my tribe. I've got to speak up for her. I've got to speak up and show her she can do something. You guys, helping people is not enough. Danielle's drive is her baby, her family. The amount of hours she has to work. Did you hear? 2 jobs. She's not saying she's too busy, doesn't have time to make this work. She's not talking about how she doesn't feel well. She's just getting it done, getting on the calls, making it happen. She's inviting to the team. She's getting over herself. She's not saying, you know what, they should just join me as challengers. Where is she having the most transformation? On the team. So why wouldn't she invite to that? You're afraid of pushing people? You're afraid of them going inactive? What are you doing to support them? Support them and then show them. Morgan Schaefer is doing an excellent job of this, is sharing her vision with people. Did you guys see her post? I'm on my way to building a 6-figure business. People make fun of me, but okay, go ahead and watch, because I'm on my way to building a 6-figure business. And I was like, heck yes, I got what you were saying with the ponytail. There was a message beyond that. Did you catch that? It wasn't the ponytail, you guys. It was like her talking about the business, like, hey, like, okay, like, you're going to say something, but this is where I'm going. You want to say something more, or you want to join me, right? Handle it. But you guys inviting to the team is like, man, it's the greatest gift ever, because you've just given the gift of $1 million business investment. That's how I feel. I feel like the way I lead and show up to this business, I'm teaching you that, hey, you're $15.95. It's going to build you a 6-figure business if you treat it like that. Hey, it's going to build you a $1 million business. I'm not there yet, but Trina makes me believe I can do it. Why? She's done it. Julianne, there's no difference between you and I. I've just been doing this for 11 years. I'm like, okay, I haven't even hit year 5, but I believe you. Wash, rinse, repeat. I'll show up every freaking day with that kind of dream, because it's not really the money at all, but it's the freaking impact, man, of what it does for your life, for your confidence, for the way that you think. How many of you feel better mentally? Yeah, you struggle, but you're more aware of your struggles, right? You're more aware of the limitations in your life. I didn't even know I had limitations because I just lived them every day. I lived my insecurities every day. I lived my anxiety every day. I lived my unhealthy eating habits every day. I lived my exhaustion every day. I lived my tired every day. I didn't know there was another way until this. I lived paycheck to paycheck every day. I go back to that story that I've been sharing. On Friday, I was sitting next to a couple at dinner, and she was like, man, a 4.3 raise is amazing. Like, isn't that insane, to the guy she was probably on her second date with? It was so awkward. And it was like, I loved every second of it. And so I wasn't even talking to Eric. I was just eavesdropping. And I was like, 4.3 raise isn't that good, because I've given myself 300% raises in Beachbody. Yeah, in the conventional world, that's good. But man, like what I'm doing, I wanted to reach over and be like, girl, that's not that good. And then this is coming from a teacher who made only $900 every 2 weeks with no raises, right? And then here I am going, oh, that's not good. What would have done for 4.3? I don't even know what that would be in teaching. 4.3 raise in teaching, that would have changed my life dramatically, probably, but nah, that's not going to happen. Beachbody, it does. Isn't that crazy? When you grow and you get over yourself and you make a list of everyone on your Facebook and you just do it, you hit enter, because how many of you are like, oh, I don't know who to invite? Instead of saying that, just go do it. I'm scared. Just do it. Everyone's saying no. Do more. Don't attach yourself to them saying no. Attach yourself to your dream. Attach yourself to your vision. Attach yourself to that. And then you'll just do it. All right, I'm done. I was on it. I was like, let's go. Hold on, I'm gonna hit